You are the source, you are the solution, you are everything you're looking for. So today we're going right in. I have asked myself what it is that you need to know, right? You are looking for ways to improve your life, and you are the solution you're looking for. And today I'm going to talk about a spiritual perspective, okay? So the thing is, the source, what is that? Like sometimes we say source is God, right? Source is like this infinite intelligence, the universe. But what about this universe? What about the source? Where is it, right? It is inside of you. And especially you as a woman, it starts with your womb, right? The source is literally inside of your womb. And you can imagine it like that. The source, right? This infinite energy, this creative energy, source, God, goddess, creation, whatever you want to call it, infinite intelligence. There's so many words for it. And I always like to use all the words because depending on where you come from, right? Which religion maybe you come from, maybe you're a more metaphysical person, more universal, like it depends, but it's all the same. So all of that, especially as a woman, it comes together in your womb. And the thing is, our womb is the space where we store most of our trauma, right? What is trauma? Trauma are energy blocks, right? So there is this, let's say there's a ball, there's like this ball of stored up energy inside your womb. So every time you were afraid, every time you feel like you had to protect yourself, every time there was like resistance, right? Like resistance, fear, doubt, worry, especially like these existential fears, survival, right? Survival. All of these energies, these fears, these traumas of rejection, because what it comes down to with like rejection, fear of being outcast, right? Fear of even shining too bright, being too beautiful, all of the deepest fears of a human, like they all have to do with survival, right? We want to live inside this body. So these are the deepest fears that we have. And especially as women, we store these deep traumas, these deep fears, we store them in our womb space. That's why like today we see all this somatic work, right? Somatic breathing, somatic moving, opening your hips, breathing into your hips, relaxing into your hips, connecting to your womb space, connecting to your period, even right to your cycle, which is a huge topic. I love it. I have a masterclass coming up around that. I'm going to put the link down below if you're interested. It's going to be on the 1st of October. So, like everything around the womb space is very important, especially for a woman. And that's why, like, sometimes people ask me, what is the difference between feminine personal development and like masculine personal development? A lot, because the woman's anatomy is different, the energetics are different. And that's why I want to continue around the womb. So really think about that, right? Think about you and your womb. That's the first, like this energy, this wealth, infinite intelligence, creativity, the fountain of youth, source, whatever you want to call it, like literally the tap, right? Imagine that there's this source of water, like this big body of water, and you just have to open up the pipe, and the pipe again starts with the womb. So there's this energy wanting to flow through your body. And the first area it enters is your womb space. So open up your womb space, open it up, feel into it. And how you can do that is when you feel safe, right? So go into a room, go into a place where you feel safe. And when you energetically, like mentally, also presence, a safe space, right? Inside your house, you are safe. Sometimes we are running and we're running and we're running, and we think we're constantly in threat or survival mode, even though we are home, right? So presence, that safety, presence with presencing, I mean, just become aware that actually in this very moment, in this room, you are safe. Nothing can happen to you. There's nobody in the room. There's no threat. There's no lion. There's no person. There's no man. There's no nothing. You are safe. Okay. And in that safety, you can open up. You can learn to open up. And then the first thing that will happen if you're new to these practices, the first thing that will happen is it's going to come out, like it's going to be flushing out. The all the stored trauma is going to come flushing out, the fear, the survival, right? It depends. Like I don't know exactly what has been going on inside of you. So if you really want my help, if you really want to go deeper with this, come into my membership, and you will find more information around that, and even book a personal session with me, right? This is where I can customize it to you. But in general, for everybody, you can get a lot of value out of this. So you are here, like all of the trauma is going to come flushing out, the fear, the survival. Like I'm repeating myself, but it's most of the time it's that, right? Like the fear of rejection, whatever, like very, very deep rooted, unconscious. And then you become conscious of it. They will come out, they will come and flood your system. So this is also where I say it's so important to have someone holding space for you, right? Holding space for you, presencing you, witnessing you, and also just letting you know everything that is coming through your body right now is is old, right? It's old memories that have been blocked and locked into your system, but now they're coming out. So it's going to be a revisiting of them, right? It's going to become flushing out. It's going to feel real, as if it's happening now, but it's not happening now. It is literally like just clearing the energy that you have been suppressing for all of this time. And now it has to come out. It's going to flow through your veins. It's going to flow through your body. It's going to feel real. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable because you're reliving that old stored up energy. Very important. But we continue. I want to show you like this wealth, this source is coming flushing through your body. It has to cleanse all that blocked up emotion, right? All that blocked up emotion, sexual trauma. I mean, this is very prevalent for many women, right? Like all of the times you said yes, even if you did mean no, and you said yes only because you were afraid. This is definitely something that I had to figure out. This even though you're becoming a very aware woman, sometimes things that are still connected to the womb is you're looking for love, right? You're looking for love, you're looking for connection. And then sometimes maybe a man, a partner comes in, and maybe that person is going to be so like dominant, where you are afraid to say no. Like, I don't only want sex, I want to have the whole love experience, right? I want to have a sacred union, a divine union. I want you to see me and know me as my soul, as my energetic being, as my essence, as my heart, as my mind, and as my womb, right? This definitely, I'm very transparent, like this has been some of like the things that I had to work through later in the journey, right? The spiritual awakening happened 7 years ago. I became a life coach 7 years ago. I worked through all of the different blocks, but this was definitely one of the deepest, to be able to say no. Yeah, because we're still seeking for validation. We still want to be loved, right? This is something that, as I think, especially for women and like even divine feminine, like if you're into this work of becoming self-actualized, self-realized, and living your best life, you are a divine feminine. You're working with that. And I think it's really very important for you to realize that you don't need that validation. You don't need that sexual validation anymore. I know, no judgment, but you don't need that anymore. And sometimes it has already also made you override your intuition of actually saying no. Like, that's not what I want. I want union, but like the full experience, not only the sexual. So that is trauma as well, right? We let somebody into the sacred temple of our body even though we didn't really want it anymore, right? So these things are all stored in your womb. So it's time to create a safe space for yourself, flush it out. Probably there's going to be a lot of uh, judgment and hurt and fear and anger, right? Resentment and anger coming up. Like, definitely. If you want help around that, come over to the membership, come into my space. So, all of these things come rising up. There's going to be so much to work through, especially with the womb. But once you clear that energy, it goes up into the next energy center, into the next energy system, right? It goes up into the sacred, like the sacral chakra, right? So we have the root chakra, and then we have the sacral chakra, like both of that, and then the solar plexus. Like, this is like it's three different, but it can also be put as one big energy center. And this is where we are trapped in the human experience. If you don't work through that energy center, everything below the belly button, like everything in the underbelly, in the gut, in the womb, right? This is where the heavy human gunk is, right? This is where we want to work through all of the limitations and the blocks and the generational trauma and the human trauma that you've experienced during your life, like in the first 7 years, but also throughout your life as a woman. Very important to work through that, because this is where you will feel the resistance. And I will come like resistance, like there's this law of non-resistance, like being like water flowing, right? When we enter this space of less and less resistance, this is when we come into abundance, because abundance literally means that your energy from within your soul connects to everything outside of you. This is when you become one, right? One within yourself and one with the world around you and with the universe, right? That's why we have to release the resistance to become one, to open up the channel, to open up our receptivity to more life, right? But if we're always constricted in survival mode and just holding in that trauma, holding in the fear, holding in the old stories of what has happened to you, what you also have allowed, right, to happen to you, is about forgiveness, self-forgiveness, releasing, surrendering, letting go, flushing it out, daring to feel again. First, like, it's a purging. It's literally a purging, just like if you have ever used any like medicinal drugs, for example, like ayahuasca. It's a purging. It helps you clean your body. It's a detox. It's a flushing out of the old toxins. And trauma is literally an energetic toxin, right? So we want to cleanse it, cleanse it, cleanse it, and then we continue to go up. This is actually the real work that we have to do in order to become a self-actualized human being. Many people in the spiritual community, they want to work from the heart up, right? So you open your heart and you just want to become this angelic being without recognizing that all the real shit literally is in the gut, is in the womb, and that's the real work that you have to do, right? So that's where the energy comes from below. And you have to first clean the lower chakras, the lower energy centers that connect you to the human experience, right? This is where you actually honor and accept your humanity, right? And all the shit that has happened to you and that you have probably not worked through. But as soon as you have worked through it, you get to the next level, and that is above the diaphragm. right? That's like a key marker above the diaphragm. And you will feel like while I'm saying that, I can feel the beauty and the relaxation in my womb. It's free, it feels good, it feels open, it feels warm, it feels relaxing. It's just a very wholesome feeling in the womb when you do that work. And I will come to like all the way up. So the next thing is you open up the diaphragm, you open up the belly, right? You allow yourself to breathe deep into that underbelly. And then the energy comes up, and then and that this is where you open your heart. If you don't work through the human things like shame, guilt, fear, doubt, all of the yuckiness, right? You can't really open your heart. Yeah. So we first do that work, then we open the heart. The heart, oh, the open heart is the goal. And the open heart is the goal because the open heart represents us becoming into like more evolved human beings, right? Opening the heart is the magnetic field. Especially as a woman, you want to open your heart and you want to let the love radiate out. This is when you have healed the inner child, you have healed the woman, you have healed the womb, you have healed the humanity of yours and all of the stories. And then you come into this joyful, open heart expression, just being open to love, to see, and also to receive, right? To receive the world, see the world, open the heart, and be like, I'm here. I'm here, right? You're not only just trying to survive and being super hyper vigilant, always looking over your shoulder and thinking the world is a dangerous place and everybody's out to catch you and everybody's just behind, like they want to hurt you. No, like you have mastered that. And at the same time, it is about boundaries, right? So as soon as you open your heart, as soon as you've worked through the lower chakras, right? The womb space and the underbelly, you will realize like this is part of the human experience, and many people are still there. This is what I had to learn as well, to realize that many people are in survival mode, and that's okay. No judgment, right? Many people are in survival mode. Many people are just out for their own, right? Just to look after, okay, how can I get my next hit, right? How can I get my next sex partner? Right? How can I get my next like client? How can I get my next job? Right? How can I make the money? How can I get my survival needs met? Which is it's okay. I'm not judging it, but it's definitely also a lower consciousness, right? And to realize that it takes work to actually get to a open heart and to be on your journey of self-actualization, right? So not everybody's there, so we have to realize, and that's what I see also in the spiritual community, and I have been there too as a woman. When you deny your needs, your survival needs and your sexual needs, or your like your trauma and your yeah, you're just your human nature, that you are this animal, right? That you're this animal too, that you also have the predatory instincts, right? If you deny that, you're incomplete. And if you're just trying to only be loving, this is what I see like the toxic empath. Or what is it called? The covert narcissist, I think, not the overt, but the covert narcissist. You give and give and give, and you pretend to be selfless, but no, it's not out of a selflessness, it's out of a secret, it's a secretive desire to want to get something back. So I think that's the most yucky feeling that you can give to other people, is to give without being honest that you want something in return. Because we are living in a world, in this matrix, we are living in a universe where you it's about flow, it's about exchange, it's about circulation, and especially depending on where. But I feel like in business settings, of course, I give you what I have, and this is again coming to the wealth. You are the wealth, especially if you are a woman who has done her inner work, right? I speak about branding, I speak about business because that's the next level. But first you have to do the inner work. First you have to become aware of who you are, what your talents are, what your energy is, right? But as soon as you know that, you are the wealth, right? So you give it. And this is what I also see with spiritual coaches or spiritual entrepreneurs. You don't like you don't accept your human nature. You need that money, right? You need that money in turn to sustain your humanity, right? You don't necessarily need it to be that spiritual person, but in order to be more creative and be more free, you need that money. And I'm using the word need because it is it is part of the human experience, right? And we need it in order to create the lives that we want in this realm, in this world that we live in. So it's important to acknowledge these feelings, right? To acknowledge the feelings of humanity. You're human. You need to survive. You need that money, right? You need protection, also protection and self-preservation. This is very important. I heard that yesterday's 3 stages of self-realization, realizing that you are this entity, like half human, half divine. That's what I like to say, whole human, right? Half animal, half divine, whole human. That is literally being human. So you self-realize, like that's what you realize. You realize that you have the survival needs, then you have like the physical needs, like even community connection, things like that. You have like the creative needs, right? Self-esteem, giving to people. This is where you start becoming more of service, right? And then you have like this self-actualization or self-actualization is when you're operating from this mode, right? Of knowing that you are all of this, right? Not just from the heart, not just giving from the heart, not just being like, yeah, I'm so giving, I'm so selfless while you are broke. While you are broke, I have been there too, right? Like giving, 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 not valuing the work that I've done, not valuing the spiritual and the emotional intelligence and the mastery, right? But really just giving from a place of self-denial. I hope that makes sense. Like denying your humanity. This is what I see in the spiritual community. That's why many spiritual people are broke, and that's why they're not taking seriously. I think, and this is also that's my school of thought, right? So one of the books that I definitely recommend and I have been working with for a long time is The Science of Getting Rich. And what I do love about this type of spirituality, is that it is connected to capitalism, right? It is like this, it is the American way of spirituality, which is at the center. That's how I see it. And that's a gem. It's at the center of capitalism. It's at the center of the Western world. And the Western world is like the industrialized world, like the capitalistic world. It's in the center of the material world that has afforded us all the luxuries that we have. So I don't want to deny that. I don't want to go back. This is also what I see in the spiritual community as well. Many people want to go back, like talking about eco villages and kind of going back, but I don't believe in going back. I believe in going forward and using the best things possible that we have accomplished as a human race up until now. Like let's use the technology, yet let's use the materials, let's use the all the systems that we have created up until now and that has afforded us the comfort, and let's continue to evolve on that, right? Not go back into the woods. I don't want to go there. Do you? I don't. Right? There's a better way. It's going forward. It's evolution. Okay, so coming back to the system, It is placing yourself in the heart of this material world because everything is spiritual. Okay, so we continue. So we are at the heart, right? You have cleansed all the yuckiness, all the trauma, all the deep emotions, all the negativity, let's say that, all the human experience of rejection and perceived rejection, because much of it was self-rejection and not having enough boundaries. As soon as you realize your worth, you will set up boundaries, and which is like self-preservation. You save yourself, right? You preserve yourself. And I see this as a, like, this is when your aura becomes a force field, right? It is like your energetic force field that keeps you in, that like literally keeps your energy in, and you're safe, and you're safe and sound. It's a closed, beautiful, energetic pattern that keeps your energy circulating within yourself. And and you are love. That's what it is. You are the source, and you are the love that you're looking for. Nothing outside of you can satisfy you. You become like the source goes in, especially as a woman. Like, this is it. The source goes in, and you circulate it out through the upper chakras, right? You circulate it out through your heart. You open your heart. You're going to be magnetic because the heart energy is magnetic, right? So you don't even have to give the love. That's a very important thing. You don't have to give the love. You are just love. You're just radiating love. You're just emanating love. You're emanating love, right? You are just love. That's just who you are, because your heart is open. And then that's the next energy center, the throat, right? So this is where I am, and I have cultivated it in the past few months. It's literally about opening the whole channel. And I know that as a woman, you can only fully open your throat and speak your deepest truth. Yeah, if you consider yourself a priestess, an oracle, a channel, or whatever, like, these are more the spiritual terms. But if you see yourself as a teacher, if you see yourself as a messenger of any kind, somebody who like lectures, right, or shares on social media, you have to open the womb, right? Because the womb, and that's anatomy, it's not spiritual, it's anatomy. The womb is connected to the throat. Like, the opening of the womb and the opening of the throat somewhere here is the opening here in your throat kind of looks like your womb. Like, it's a as above, so below kind of energy, right? So what is within is also without. And if you clean up your womb space, you will want to clean up your throat. And this is what I feel like one of my clients has asked me. She doesn't really know what her positioning is. And one thing I can say also for you, you're listening, if you are called to create online, if you're called to spread your message, if you're called to be a teacher and to speak up, it is about what do you need to cleanse now? What do you need to share? Like, you will feel it. What do you want to share? Right? And for me, it is this. For me, it is speaking about you are source. You are the source of everything that you want. You are your own generator, right? You generate the feeling of goodness, you generate the ideas. Like, you are your own machine, right? You are your own machine, and it all happens from within, and you use the cosmic energy that flows through you anyways, all day, every day. That is life force, right? That is creativity, that is sexual power. It's all the same. Okay, so you use that energy, and you pull it up through your heart, you open your energetic field, and then you also open the throat. And that is one of the most purging energies that you can exude as a woman, to speak your truth. Speaking your truth from every part of yourself, from the human part, right? From the sexual center, from the radiance, from your heart, and daring to speak up in terms of the no, self-preservation, creating this force field around you that you cannot enter my field. No, you cannot touch me. No, you cannot siphon my energy. No, you cannot just come into my sacred space, because I am my sacred space, right? You are everything you need. Like, you are full, you're whole, you're complete. And it is important to protect, right? We hear that again and again. And I think that is my contribution to like really showing how this looks like this: protect your energy, right? That's what it is. It's about protecting your force field, protecting your heart. And it goes hand in hand. That's the beauty of duality. The more you open your heart, the more you have to be able to protect your field. Or the more you protect your field, right? The more you can open your heart, right? That's why I said in the beginning of this video, if you are if you are if you are constantly running, if you still feel like you're in survival mode, presence your own like your own safe space. Presence it, right? Become aware that you are safe in your space, and you can just relax. And in that relaxation, you open up your womb, you open up your diaphragm, you open up your heart, and you become bigger. You embody and you inhabit your own energy field. I hope that makes sense for you. And you can open your throat. And one thing that I would recommend is to start singing, is to stop moaning. Moaning is also it's a massaging mechanism for the womb. As I said, the moaning, and we all know, right? The moaning, why do we moan when we have sexual intercourse? Because it relaxes, right? We know that having good sex relaxes the whole field, the whole womb space. It's relaxing if it's good, right? It's good. You open up, you relax, and you moan. And the moaning even intensifies the relaxation. It's vibration. Oh, right. It's sound, vibration, relaxation. It's like a massage, right? It's like it's an opening up of the density, right? When we speak about higher vibration, we speak about lower density. Higher vibration is more spiritual, right? Lower vibration is more material. It's denser vibration. If we open up, that's why I like to do this, right? We open up the field. We open up the density, right? We open up the womb, the diaphragm, the heart. We open it up, and we open up the throat. We open it up, we open it up. And you can feel, right? You will feel after a time of practicing that your energy flow is going to be more stable. Stable, strong voice, right? Many women who are not in their power, you can feel it with their voice. The voice is cut off in the diaphragm. It is only shallow breathing, shallow shallow volume, right? The voice is volume, and we will want to use the whole corpse, the whole body, right? The whole torso to be the resonance, like the resonating like field, or even like a mold, or yeah, like a sounding bowl. Your whole body is the sounding bowl, right? So the more you breathe and you speak from your womb, you will use the whole resonance field of your body, of your chest. You open up and you can speak. Yes. So that is all important, right? That is all important. And I'm giving you like the gems. Like, this is a masterclass. This is a masterclass. This is a full on practical embodiment session. And If you do that, everything I just said, of course, it takes a little. If you want support, come over to my membership and let's dive in there. But if you really want to open up the whole channel, you will draw from your deepest humanity, which is not at all to be shamed, to be guilted. No, it is part of you, and you will draw from it, and you will dare, as a woman especially, you will dare to speak about money. You will dare to speak about you will dare to make the sale. You will dare to say, that's my worth, like, right, that's what I want, that's the kind of money that I am worth, like that's my energy equivalent, right? Let's talk about money, because there's no shame around it, because you realize you are a human being, and in this reality, we need the money to sustain our human nature and our survival needs, right? You will dare to speak about sex. You will dare to speak about your sexual desires. You will not, and this is also something that can and will happen as if you open up your sexual energy and that field, you will realize that you have maybe blocked fantasies, right? Maybe you had you had fantasies of different things you wanted to experience. That's why, like, sexuality, suppressed sexuality, creates so much distortion and even re-traumatizing yourself. But if you are aware of who you want, like who you are and what you want to experience, you can actually create a more safe and sacred environment in order to experience those things, right? Speaking about whatever it is, speaking about domination, submission, talking about different partners or whatever. It just needs to be open and purged. That is something that many, let's say, priestesses, spiritual teachers, awakened women, however you want to call it, experience and share, that there is a phase in our lives, and the same goes for me. There was a phase in our lives where we wanted to experience certain things until we realize, like, that's not really what I want to experience. But many women who don't activate their sexuality at all, there's so much unknown, right? Unknown. So you tap into that unknown, and then you have to experience. It's the same thing for everything, especially if you, again, coming back to my client who asked me, like, I don't really know where to position myself as a teacher. You have to experience, right? You have to go out into the world, or you have to come on here on social media to share. And then you will realize, because everything you do is an experience, and every experience gives you the opportunity to see, do I want more of that, or is it not really for me? But first, you kind of have to experience it, right? In order to say, no, that's not for me. Right. So I'm a big fan of experimentation. This life is an experiment. And the more you experiment, the more you do, the more you go out there, the more you experience, the more you get to know yourself, and you know what you like and what you don't like. And that's where you come into more of an authentic place within yourself, to be like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need that anymore. I think that's also very important. And a little side note for relationships, right? Before you know what you want, you have to also know what you don't want, right? And it's also about experimentation. And I believe that this is also, if you have experimented a lot, if you have gone out into the world and to figure out what it is that you like, sometimes to get to the next level of mastery and owning your mastery and owning yourself and your body of experience, it is about releasing judgment, right? For example, for a woman, if you have had multiple partners and you had a lot of sex, maybe now you're at a point where you feel guilty or you're ashamed of it. You have to release that, right? Like, release that. It's false morality. It gave you the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom that you needed to get to this point of saying, okay, I don't want that anymore. This is when you become a sacred woman, right? When you really realize, that's not what I want. I have lived out the false illusion of, and I believe many times that's what it is. It's like looking for love outside of ourselves through sex, right? And through these fantasies. And then we realize, no, that's actually not what I need. So forgive yourself. like let the shame and the guilt and all of that go and step into owning your experience. And this is when you can actually become the priestess, right? This is when you can become the expert, the go-to expert in your field, knowing that you have made all these experiences and you now know how other women are navigating, right? How other women are navigating. And I believe this is true for me too. Like I have been a very sexual person in terms of I have had this drive. And many times especially for women, it is suppressed. That's why I'm giving you all this teaching, right? It starts in the womb. And this is where the energy is. If you are, this sexual energy will lead you to become a divine woman, because especially as women, if we have this drive, right? Many times we associate this drive, or we know that this drive is by, like, many men have it. And to be really honest, I have always, and this is with most women, right? We are very attracted to the man who has the drive, right? Who has the sexual drive, who has the ambition, the power, right? What is that power? That power is the sexual drive. Why? Because it's the root. It's the pure, unadulterated energy. That's the source. That is God. That is Goddess, right? It comes straight through the sexual organs, right? And that's like, if somebody's activated there, they are in their physical power. And this is what I see many women get wrong, right? When they are trying to escape the physical strength and come, like, only sharing the heart and being like, oh, so sweet, angelic. No, you are also in your body, right? You're in your body, you are in your sexuality. And if you have a strong sex drive, and I see this also with my friends, I've always had very powerful women around me. So like the women that I'm thinking of, they also, like, they exude sexual energy because they have it. Like they are horny and they feel the sex drive. Most of them are also very athletic, right? So you use that energy because you have to get it off. Many times it's like also the men, you have so much energy, and when you learn to discipline yourself, you don't want to use that sexual energy for sex, because you realize there's like this spiritual attachment and you create a lot of chaos and hurt and things like that. So this is when you actually use that energy for sports, right? Or for creativity. This is when you feel okay, it has to go somewhere, right? It's not only for sex, it's for creativity. So you take that energy and you put it into different uses. Like you can use that energy to sport, right? To work out, lift, run, doing those things, right? Because you just feel so much, right? The same thing with creativity, right? That is the source of creativity. Also, for all my creators, like, this is for you, right? Just start. And this is also, again, letting go of perfectionism, letting go of comparison, letting go of judgment, of shame, of all of these things. This has to go. Like, these things are kind of, if we want to paint a picture, these judgments and fears and perfectionism, this is stored right in the diaphragm. Like, this is kind of the lid on top of the energy that is stored in the underbelly, and the underbelly wants to open, like, paf, and this is the Pandora's box. The underbelly is Pandora's box, right? The underbelly of your literal body is the the bottom of the ocean with the treasure, right? That's it. So, and the diaphragm is like the shame, the guilt, the doubt, you needing, like, you wanting to control things and keeping things in. Open it up and then let all the things come out. First, it's going to be probably a lot of shit, right? Because you've stored it for so long. But then it is the fountain of energy, of youth, of the generator, right? That's the machine within you. Use it for physical strength, use it for creative strength, use it for the voice, right? It comes from the same place. And use it to open your heart. This is when you become potent, literally potent, strong energy, magnetic. Yes. So yeah, that's really it for today, I think. I think that's the stream of consciousness that I wanted to let through. And I also wanted to show you more of where I come from, right? So everything I talk about on personal branding and coming on social media, especially on YouTube, creating a membership, this is for me, this is my invitation for you as a maybe as a spiritual woman or as a creative woman. It's the same, right? It's the same, or as a sexual woman, right? We have worked, we have done a lot of work. As I said, we've done all this work, we have so much experience, and this experience is needed, right? This experience is wanted, like especially for you. I also always like to say, do it from a selfish perspective, from like purging yourself and knowing that there's worth in all of your experience and your energy in you working through all of those things, making those experiences, and then giving it, right? It's about circulating. The more you give, the more you will receive. That's a natural law. It's a law of circulation. It is a law of abundance. So if you have asked yourself, yeah, I'm probably going to do a whole nother video about that. But if you've asked yourself for a long time, like, okay, why are the things not happening for me? It's probably because you haven't started the activation, like you haven't started giving off of yourself, like giving your energy, because you have to give in order to receive. So don't wait for anything. Nothing is going to come. You have all of it inside of you, and it is your time to open up and to give from your overflow, that is all of the stuck emotion. Open it up, share it with the world. Purge, purge, purge. No perfection. Let it come out. Release it into the world. Believe that it's going to resonate with the people that are designed to find it, that are part of your unique energy frequency, and then continue. That's what it's about, right? Continue to purge and continue to share and continue to give, and it's going to come. That's a law, right? It's a law of circulation. Again, it's a universal law. It's not what I made up. That's just the way it is. So again, I hope you enjoyed it very much. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. And if you really want to do this work, if you know that you have all this creative potential inside of you and you need a little bit help of structuring it and actually putting it into a pipe, because that's what it is, right? Like our energy is like the water, that's the stream, and then we need the pipe, which is the structure. And I have found an amazing way how you can create a very beautiful pipeline of creating wealth, right? Of creating an energy flow, where it goes, how it compounds, and then also where you can store all of that and be compensated for it, right? So if you want that help, come over into my membership. You find the link down below. Again, as I said, if you want to know how to use your womb energy in a more like focus on your cyclical, like cyclical living, cyclical planning as an entrepreneur, I will put the link down below as well. It's going to be a beautiful masterclass coming up on the 10th of on the 1st of October, right? And the link, you will find the link down below. You will learn how to like plan as a woman according to your cycle, how it benefits you as an entrepreneur, right? As someone who works for herself. And especially for us women, we need that structure, right? So that's what you're going to find there. And there are going to be more and more things about how to plan, but also how to support yourself, like through energy management, through food, through exercise, through journaling, meditation, awareness practices, what to do when, because that's really that's like a master key for women, right? Because men operate different, they have a different biology, but we as women, we have this inbuilt cycle of production, which is so beautiful and divine. And if you want to know more about this, come over, check out. It's called Womb Health and Cyclical Living for Entrepreneurs. The link is going to be down below, and I'm looking forward to hear from you. Until then, bye and stay dangerous.